You are lying in bed. It is 2 in the morning. A floorboard creaks on the other side of the door. Your heart hammers. Your body floods with a cold, electric dread. Why does a simple sound do that to you? But then you feel the weight shift at the foot of the mattress. It is your dog, and something inside your brain exhales. What just happened inside your skull? That feeling is not just because the dog might bark. The real answer is far stranger. It has nothing to do with teeth or alarms. It is a chemical whisper that reaches back before locks were invented, before houses had walls. What kind of chemical whisper does a dog possess? Every hair on your neck stands down for reasons scientists are only now uncovering. Your brain contains an almond shaped sentinel called the amygdala. It is your fear center. It never sleeps. Why does it never sleep? It is the reason your pulse spikes before you even know what the sound was. But here is what no security company will tell you. The amygdala has a specific off switch, and that off switch is older than any camera. It is the presence of a bonded animal. Why would a creature turn off your fear? A researcher named Dr. Johannes Odendel did something elegantly simple. He brought dogs and their owners into a quiet room. He let them interact gently for half an hour. Then he took blood samples from both. What do you think he found? What he found stunned the scientific community. Both the human and the dog showed a massive drop in the stress hormone cortisol. Both showed a surge in oxytocin. Oxytocin is sometimes called the love hormone, but that is too sentimental. It is a neural signal of safety. What does that signal actually tell your brain? It tells your ancient brain, you are among your own. Your defenses can come down. Odendel's study, published in 2003, was a door cracking open. What lies on the other side of that door? Now consider what oxytocin meant to your ancestors. It did not just arise from human touch. Long before cities, long before agriculture, something unusual happened. Two apex predators learned to read each other. Wolves and humans began to hunt together, and the ones who cooperated best survived. What did that cooperation actually change inside your brain? A neuroscientist named Dr. Gregory Burns at Emory University decided to peer inside the dog's brain. He trained dogs to lie perfectly still in an MRI scanner, no sedation, fully awake. What did the scans reveal? He found that the scent of their human triggered a reward explosion in the dog's brain. The caudate nucleus lit up. That is the same region that activates in a human brain when you see someone you love. The signal became mutual. Your brain and a dog's brain are part of the same ancient circuit board. How does that ancient circuit board silence fear? When the amygdala senses a threat, it fast tracks a fear response. It bypasses your thinking cortex. It screams, run, fight, freeze. But in the presence of a dog, a contradictory signal arrives. Where does that counter signal come from? That signal comes from the brain's social processing centers. They tell the amygdala, stand down. This creature is part of the family. Its hearing is superior to yours. Its nose reads the chemical story of every breath in the room. If the dog is not afraid, your amygdala registers that. It is a silent calibration. Your fear center defers to the animal. This is not conscious. It is not logical. It is older than logic. Can any machine replicate that? One researcher at Washington State University, Dr. Patricia Pendry, designed a simple experiment. She brought stressed university students into contact with trained dogs for just 10 minutes. She measured their cortisol levels before and after. The drop was significant. But what made the effect so powerful was not petting alone. What was the secret ingredient? It was the unmediated presence, just the animal, breathing in the same space. In a separate line of research, brain scans have revealed that when people view threatening images, their amygdala activation is blunted if a companion animal is nearby. Why does the mere presence of the animal achieve this? A dog does not need to be a guard breed to do this. The oldest, slowest, friendliest mutt triggers the same ancient mechanism. Why is that so hard for the modern world to accept? Here's the part that does not fit the modern story of security. Your home alarm system is designed to terrify. It screams. It threatens. It relies on the very fear it is supposed to quell. What exactly is wrong with that picture? A deadbolt is a promise of resistance, but it does nothing to your amygdala. A weapon in the nightstand requires a part of your brain to stay awake, rehearsing violence. But a dog does the opposite. It quiets the rehearsal. It silences the internal search for danger. How can an animal silence a human's internal threat monitor? Because the threat detection has been outsourced. to a creature whose entire evolutionary fortune has depended on sensing danger before you do, and telling you, with every relaxed exhale, that you are safe. When was the last time an alarm system made you feel safe on that level? Think about the last time you were home alone and heard a sound you cannot explain. Your instinct was likely to freeze, to listen, to wish for the dog, even if you do not own one. Why does that wish arise? That wish is a neural memory. It is a ghost of survival. Your ancestors slept with dogs at the mouth of the cave. They relied on the low growl that never came, which meant they could fall into the deep, slow wave sleep that heals the body. How does that ancestral memory live in you now? Today, you live in a world of locks, cameras, motion sensors, and digital notifications. Yet none of them touch the amygdala's off switch. They mimic security, but do not produce the brain state of being secured. A dog does not mimic, it delivers. What does delivered safety feel like in your own muscles? This also explains something strange you might have noticed. A friend who owns a dog seems less reactive to small stressors. They carry a subtle calm. It is not personality alone. It is neurochemical. What does that mean for your daily baseline of vigilance? Living with a dog maintains a slightly lower baseline of vigilance. Your brain bathes in small, steady oxytocin releases. Your amygdala receives daily signals that the perimeter is secure. You did not evolve to live in a sealed box surrounded by electronic sentinels. You evolved to sleep in a huddle with other mammals, one of which stays alert while you rest. Why did you ever trade that for a deadbolt? The dog is that mammal, and your brain still speaks its language. How quickly did you forget it? The body of evidence is growing. Researchers at Linköping University in Sweden, led by Kirsten Uvnes Moberg, have mapped the oxytocin feedback loop between humans and their dogs. They found that simply gazing into the dog's eyes sets off a cascade identical to the bond between a mother and an infant. That is not metaphor. That is a measurable hormonal echo. What does that echo tell you about the depth of this bond? The infant gaze triggers maternal care, lowering stress in the child. Your dog's gaze is the same to you, and your gaze does it right back to the dog. It is a safety loop neither species designed. Evolution assembled it, tens of thousands of years at a time. What happens when that loop is broken? Now consider what happens when you remove the dog. Military personnel returning from deployment often report a deep, hollow vigilance. They cannot turn off the threat scan. But many discover that when they adopt a dog, something shifts. What shifts exactly? A team at Purdue University, led by Dr. Marguerite O'Hare, found that veterans with service dogs for PTSD showed significantly reduced amygdala reactivity to startle warnings. The dog was not just a comfort. It was a biological safety signal that the brain had forgotten how to generate on its own. Why had the brain forgotten? The dog's ears scan the room. The dog's nose processes the air. And the human brain, reading those cues below consciousness, finally allows itself to rest. How deep does that rest go? You might be someone who has never owned a dog. You might still sense the effect. Walk into a friend's house where a dog sleeps on the couch. Notice the quality of the silence. It is not the dead silence of an empty apartment. It is a living quiet. Your nervous system reads it before your intellect can name it. What does that quiet feel like in your body? You relax slightly. Your shoulders drop a fraction of an inch. That is the amygdala exhaling. That is the echo of a deal struck between your ancestors and theirs. What is that ancient deal worth to you right now? So the next time you are lying in bed at 2 in the morning, and some sound shifts in the dark, and you feel the dog's tail thump once against the blanket, you are not just hearing a pet. You are feeling a promise that was written in oxytocin, in fMRIs, in 10,000 years of coevolution. Your fear center has an ancient master, and it has a wet nose. And in the stillness, it tells the oldest part of your brain what no alarm can. What exactly does it tell you? You are safe. You are not alone. You can sleep. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. A new story every week.